Hello, everybody. This is Ria, and back on Let's Get Lost. So, I'm sure you guys have been enjoying all the places that we've been taking you to, of course, virtually. And, Vincy's first-hand information, his entire experiences, I'm sure it's really kind of adding to your details and research that you are doing to probably start traveling at least in 2021, if not now. But hi, Vincy, what's up?
Hi guys, what's up? It's an excellent time to be traveling again, but I'm guessing
Yeah,
we
how's
have to
it?
wait. Yeah.
But how's it getting for you? Because for everyone, let me
Uh,
tell you, Vincy plans trips. Vincy can help you guys arrange all of that, and like he's the go-to person when it comes to any sort of traveling. So, how's your inquiries coming in? What's happening?
So right now people are inquiring, they want to travel, but I always recommend them don't travel too much because of the times that we are in. I recommend them
Right.
to do drivecation where they can drive the safety of their car and go to a particular place and how to drive, take the precautions and stay in proper villas or homes and just enjoy the
Right.
scenery around. Keep your social distance. Be responsible because one way you will be the carrier or you might meet the carrier on the way. So you have to
Right.
be slightly more
Right.
responsible when it comes to that. But yes, travel is opening up slowly. People are like, especially in India, it has opened up. People can fly a little bit here and there. Northeast, you can fly. You can go to Goa or you can go to some other places, Rajasthan. Like some people are traveling to Jaipur, Udaipur.
Right.
Things are opening up. But I still suggest
Nice.
maintain precaution because suddenly it can just go mad. So that's all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So, which is why I think 2021 would finally be the freedom time. And we'll be officially done with all these boundaries that we have. So, before it's 2021, and we do have a very long list of places where we guys want to take you on Let's Get Lost journey. And let's, of course, like you all know, we did various places in the Northeast, and now today we'll do a place which is international, as the location says, but it's pretty much very, very close to India. And the perception and the emotion that we have for that place, it just feels like it's just a part of us only, right? And it's pretty much not a secret because you guys have seen the promotions, the wonderful pictures, the beautiful mountains, and it's none other than Nepal. I think a very favorite word for everybody. What's the Nepal perception, Vincy, when it comes to people?
So it's slightly different
How?
depending on
Yeah.
what kind of. So Nepal has a lot of adventure to offer. So Mount Everest is the highest peak comes to our mind when you
Peak.
talk about Nepal. A lot of people go. There's a lot of trekking spots, paragliding, rafting. So a lot of adventure, bungee jumping. One of the best bungee jumping spots in the world. It has. So this is when it comes to like adventure, guys. You love the adventure. Then there is a second set of people who are into Buddhism because the Lord Buddha was born there. So there's another zone
Right.
where you can go. And overall, Nepal is, and then there is a hippie town called Pokhara, which is completely like Goa of Nepal. It's very chilled out, some very interesting
Right.
stories there also. So it has a lot to offer. So adventure seeker, chilled out, lazy ass people, and then of course there are the slightly spiritually inclined people. So Nepal has
So
that stretch. It's very
a
interesting. A lot
place
of
for
people,
all.
yeah, place for all. You can look at. It's a small country,
Place
but
for
yeah, it
all.
offers a lot.
Right. And like I said, it really feels like it's just literally not really in India, but it just feels very close to India. And so let's first understand that if you are planning a trip to Nepal,
Yeah.
what are the, go about ways?
So, as you rightly said, first of all, so India and Nepal are not that different. When you look at it, you will feel pretty much at home in Nepal, except when you go slightly deeper into Nepal, you will feel like Pokhara side. When you go, you'll see people are far more chilled out. They have Western way of outlook of looking and dressing. But mostly when you enter Nepal border, it's like India. So I recommend, so you can, there are multiple entry points into Nepal, but I would suggest you, if you have 15 days, 12 to 15 days odd, spend some good amount of
Right.
time in Nepal. You can enter from Gorakhpur. The first what you can do is you
Okay.
can enter from Gorakhpur. It is just, go to Gorakhpur. There's a 4 hour drive from there to the border town, and you just walk across. There's nothing much permissions
Oh,
required as
you
such.
can.
For Indians,
Okay.
that's the beauty, that you have to just carry your ID card. Remember, Aadhaar
Right.
card is not allowed. Besides that, your
Okay.
voter's ID or driving license is fine. But I suggest carry your
Right.
passport just to be on a safer side. Just cross over and you're in Nepal. Some basic checking they do at
Wow.
the gate, and you won't even realize when you entered Nepal. It's one of those surprises. If you're driving, you're suddenly surprised, oh, I'm in Nepal. So
Right.
is that small a border? You know? So and then you cross over, and from there, I suggest you go to Lumbini first. So that is the
Okay.
birthplace of Lord Buddha. Yeah. Then we can talk about what to do in Lumbini.
Right, right. So now again, just going back to how to enter. So you're saying Gorakhpur is the most easiest way to get in. What about because for somebody who's living in a metro or pretty far, reaching
You can,
Gorakhpur is in itself a
yeah,
task.
yeah, you can fly in actually.
So,
If you can fly into Kathmandu, and you can plan the trip that way
okay,
also. So you
simpler.
can fly into Kathmandu. Yeah, yes,
Right.
pretty much. So the entire stretch
Okay,
from, if you're
okay.
looking at Kathmandu to Lumbini, is just a 10 hours drive. If you look at it that way,
Oh, okay.
it's pretty simple.
Okay. And how about once you reach Nepal, you said there is no basic identity cards, but no permission as such required, right?
No,
Like
nothing
we
much.
had
Yeah.
in the other Northeast areas.
No, no, nothing. So while entering Nepal, they will ask you for your documents just to check, like in the sense whether you're an Indian citizen. So you'll have
Hmm.
your ID card. Besides Aadhaar, you can show PAN card. You can show your driving license. That's fine. And then
Right,
you can also show your passport to be on a safer side. It's much easier, passport
right,
just gets along. So
right.
that way.
Passport.
Yeah. And you
Okay.
don't need visa,
And
by the way. You don't need visa as an
okay.
Indian. You don't need visa.
Right. And also, coming to before we dwell in more in the place, also want to understand being an international, I mean, country now. What about the money? What about the amount and how do we fix that?
So throughout Nepal, Indian currency is accepted. So they love, because anyways, most of the Nepalis work in India also and they travel back. So they carry Indian currency and they deal in that. However, our rupee is stronger to
Okay.
theirs. So it's almost
Hmm.
1.60. So one Indian rupee, you get fetch 1.60 Nepalese. What is it? So it's much more
Okay.
stronger. But you don't have to exchange and all. You can just carry your Indian currency and they're happy to accept it. But you have to just keep the
Okay.
calculation in mind whenever you pay them. You know,
Right. Also,
don't pay.
is it a very is it a very I mean, how do I categorize it? A very expensive budgeted trip or a very low
No,
key?
actually not. So I had done Nepal a couple of times. Once I did 1 month in Nepal for almost like 9,000 in 1 month. So I'm saying it includes
Wow.
travel, stay, food, whatever activities I wanted to do, but it was far more chilled out, relaxed. But it was more on a backpacking side, how you want to do it, so based on that. But it's not very expensive to stay in Nepal but if you want to do luxury, then of course it's a different thing. But generally, it's not very
Hmm.
expensive. Food is and food is good
Right.
pretty much. So that's not a problem at all.
Right. And when we talk about, okay, now the fact that we are in Nepal and we've sorted our budget, what about internal traveling? Like of course, you're going to take us through each and every place that we
Yeah.
must go to. But is there a preference, like again, a hire a car or it's more preferred
So
um,
it depends
with
how you
local?
want to. So Nepal is well connected. There are buses going around. They have shared jeeps, buses. So as soon as you enter from the border town, there will be shared vehicles
Mhm.
that can take you to places, or there will be bus. But I suggest if
Right.
you want to do at your own pace and don't want to have the pain of waiting for a vehicle, have your own car. You can
Mhm.
drive through. So take your own car and go from India if you're going, or you can go there and
Right.
hire a car. That's the second option, or a jeep, or you
Right.
can take your. So I suggest do that. Take your own car so that you don't have to wait
Mhm.
for vehicles. And sometimes the buses are delayed or your share jeep is not ready. So then it becomes a problem. So hire a
Right.
car, much better,
Right.
and keep it with you while traveling. So it's
Keep
much
it
easier.
with you. Right.
Yeah.
So I think our overall borders are sorted. We have a car. We are at the place.
Yeah.
Our money sorted, and so now we can dwell into you. I will let it go over to you and take us to places
So I would
that we should go
suggest,
to.
so if you're entering from Gorakhpur, go to a place called Lumbini. Lumbini literally means the lovely in Nepali. It is also a
The
world,
lovely.
yeah, it is also a world UNESCO heritage site. And,
Hmm.
and this is a place where Gautam Buddha was born. So in fact, if you go to that place, there is a place called Maya Devi Temple, where there is a rock kept, and they say this is the exact spot where she gave birth to Buddha. So Maya Devi is Buddha's mom. and this is a place where actually he was born. So that is the interesting part about that place. It's a very quiet, peaceful place. You can go and stay in a village called Lumbini village, and you can get some homestays there. Or the other interesting thing that you will find there is there are around different countries have built monasteries there. So there's a German monastery, there's a Japanese monastery, China, Vietnam, Nepal, India, Philippines, Cambodia. So there are lots of various countries that have built their monasteries, and they're beautiful monasteries. My favorites would be like Germany, Japan, Vietnam, and Nepal. Of course, they are the
Wow.
good ones. You can go and stay. Like for Indians, we can go to the monastery and request them, and they will let you stay. You have to pay a nominal fee or something, but you can stay in the monastery also if you would like to. So that is the other exciting part over there. And then there is this. Let me show you some pictures on that front. Let's see
Absolutely.
if. So this is Nepal. When you say Nepal, mind what you're saying.
Wow.
True. So this is Maya Devi temple where Gautam Buddha's actual location is there in this, where he was born that we were talking about.
Right.
This is, I think, Thailand's monastery. That's how they made it. This
So
is
these are
Yamuna
all
River.
at different places or like one location, and
So it's one location.
surround.
You go to Lumbini, there's one location, and there is a water body in between, and both the sides of the body there are these. Almost, I think
Right.
there are 42, around 42 countries have built it.
Wow.
And it's a very beautiful sight to see. Just go from one monastery to the other. It's a good. You can spend a half a day, literally. You can take a bicycle
Wow.
over there and go cycling also. Nice place. Not much. So there are tourists who walk in, but they don't go to these monasteries too much. They just hang around the Maya Devi temple, and there are stupas, and there is an Ashoka pillar. They just see that and they just go out. But if you're a traveler, I think you should go and explore those parts and then go to these
Right.
monasteries and check it out. This is again the Bodh Gaya
Wow.
tree, which is there. This is another place. So that place is very beautiful. It's a very peaceful place. You can spend a couple of days there, stay in the village, meet the locals, and understand what they do generally. So that's a
Right.
very exciting thing to do there. After that, I suggest you head towards Pokhara. But before reaching Pokhara, there is a very beautiful town, hill town, literally called Tansen. Not many people know about
Fancy.
this place. Yeah, it's called Tansen. Some old, when I went there, I was told there were some old Hindi movies were shot there. There's a place called Srinagar there also in Tansen. There's a small trek you can do.
Okay.
The beauty about this place is if you're living there, you will be like literally fit because all the houses are at 70-degree angle. Getting
Okay.
it? So you have to walk up to the house. So if you're staying there for a week also, you will be very much toned just walking to your house or
Yeah.
to place of stay.
That's what I was imagining. That what?
Yeah,
But I guess that's to do with every mountain specific
yeah,
place. Like they are
yes.
really fit and fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially because your homes are on top, and if you have to buy anything in the market, you have to come down. So once you come down, again you
Right.
have to walk up. So that keeps happening a lot. So that is very interesting. And when we were there, it was just good fun. We stayed there for literally like 4 or 5 days, and within the fifth day, by the time we were leaving, we got to know everyone around. It's a small place, and they're very friendly people. And if you go to the square which they have, where everyone gathers, you can just chill with them, talk to them, and they are happy to share meals with you,
Right.
or they're listening to songs, dance. They're pretty cool. And then they took me to one place where they make Dhaka fabric, which is actually they used to make the Nepali topi, the Nepali cap. That
Yes.
place I went there, and is there only close by. So that was very interesting place. There is a small trek that you can do, and you go to a place called Srinagar. And from the trek place, you can see the Himalayas, the mountain ranges you can see. So
Wow.
that is one place I suggest. The other very interesting part they told me over here when I was just walking around. There's a coffee plantation of Nepal. The first coffee plantation of Nepal was here. It is around 40 years old. That's all. It's that young, only 40 years old. And because this was a very surprising thing, one guy told me, would you like to have coffee? And we have our own plantation. And I was like, why? How come Nepal has coffee plantation? He said, no,
Correct.
this is
Not
just
really
like,
known.
yeah, it's just like, 35, 40-year-old plantation. And it's best coffee you get. So I went there, had coffee with them. It's pretty nice. It's not that
Wow.
I'm an expert on coffee, but whatever I had, it was pretty good. So that was a good thing. So you can go and stay in Tansen for some days over there. And let me see. I try to keep one picture of Tansen. Yeah, this is the view from Srinagar. You can see pretty much.
Wow.
Very small, quaint town. So that's the thing.
And pretty much nothing around, right? It's
Nothing
just,
around. Yeah, it's just a hill town and nice people, beautiful things to do. That's it. And of
right.
course, when we go and talk to
Lovely.
them, they feel that we are coming from a city. There are a lot more to do. Then I said, actually, city people like to come and stay here. There's much peaceful and better life. I think it's
Yeah,
always the case of
obviously.
grass is greener on the other side, I guess.
Greener. Yes, very true. Very true. No,
And
but
from
anytime, it's
yeah,
anytime better than this chaos.
yeah, of course, yeah, that's true. The other thing from after that, you should go to Pokhara. Pokhara, it's like the hippie town. I call it the hippie town of Nepal, or like the Goa of Nepal. A lot of people call them as Goa. It's exactly the same. The vibe is good. There is a water body, and close to the water body, you can actually get houses which are actually touching.
Right.
So that's a beautiful place. The other thing, what the people do over there is just to chill, unwind, and there are a lot of mountain adventure happening over there. So there is this trek called Poon Hill Trek, which is a 3 day trek you can do. It is that trek is so awesome that the entire Annapurna circuit is around the same area. So you can do the Annapurna circuit trek. That's a 16-day trek. You can do a shorter trek,
16 days.
16 days, yeah. So that's quite a bit.
Okay.
uh,
Yeah, that's like a weight, whatever weight you are to zero.
yeah, correct. But if you can do the Poon Hill trek, which is just a 3 day trek, which is again awesome. You can go through many small villages. Of course, you stay the nights in certain
Right.
villages. It's a nice thing to do. You can see the mountains so from there, and the sunrise, that is stunningly beautiful sunrise as we get.
Wow.
So that is one trek you should do there. The other thing, this place is pretty much, let me show that again. So this is how the Pokhara looks when you go. It's pretty, these kind of boats are there. You can take these boats and go, sailing in this lake. You can also do kayaking, and
Yeah, these activities are pretty much on, even kayaking here.
Yeah, kayaking.
Wow.
And the other thing that you can do is parasailing. Parasailing is it is the world's
Looks lovely.
the best, like the third best place to do parasailing. That's what somebody. So this is
Right.
but it's tandem parasailing always. So I would they have 3 slots. I think it's morning 10:30, 12:30, and 2:30. Go in the afternoon slots when the winds are slightly calmer, and then you can do this. Tandem sailing. Individual, if you have your own, if you have license, if you know how to do it, then you can do it individually, but they don't allow you mostly. You go in tandem for the safety
But the
purpose.
view, I mean, the
is
view
awesome.
must be insane,
Yeah,
right?
insane.
You're like just eye level mountains and peaks, and oh my God.
So this is something that you would love to do.
Amazing.
Then there are these caves, which are like if you're claustrophobic, then I don't recommend you go to the caves. But otherwise, because the exit, one of the caves exit is as small as you. One person can only come out barely, somehow struggle out. So, but once you go inside, you get these things. So caves are another interesting place to be. But I definitely don't recommend.
And what was that?
Those were the bats
They
out
look.
there.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of them.
Yeah, true.
These caves, totally, guys, travel on your own preference and choice.
So these caves are actually 100 years old. But I would recommend that you should go for this, because there are a lot of what you call system designed in a way. There are a lot of interlocked system within the cave, which you can discover. Now one of the caves has the wooden staircase, and it is decorated with Shiva and Parvati. So this which are
and these are all naturally carved, you're saying, like.
Yeah, so they are like that, and these are 600-year-old stuff. So that's the beauty of that. So you can go to this cave, but if you're, again, as I said, some people were claustrophobic. That's what I am telling you all again. If you're claustrophobic, just avoid. Otherwise, because getting out becomes a pain, and then it gives a whole lot of different nuisance altogether for people.
Sure.
But otherwise, if you're chilled out, then it's much better. So Pokhara is a place where you can sail, and something interesting which I got to know over there was a lot of people. Now I met a lot of people over there who have very good British accent, localite speaking in British accent.
Okay, how come?
So something, how come you are? So they said, their parents were in British Army. So the preference for them, how it goes is most of the Nepalis, there is a British Army, so they go to British Army, and the second is to Indian Army, and then rest are cops, like police, local police, and all. That's how the structure is divided. And in
Okay.
Pokhara, most of the people have gone to Britain. So hence, a lot of them people you will be surprised. Those girls and guys who dress over there are very much like European kind of dressing style. Suddenly you feel
Right.
it's no longer part of Nepal. Suddenly a different Nepal you see over there. And those people are far more chilled out,
Right.
and that's why the hippie crowd over there, you gel very well with them. So that's the beauty of
Right. Their culture is
culture. Yeah,
matching in the sense. Yeah.
correct. Yeah, true. So,
Right.
so that's what was happening. Yeah, so
So
Pokhara is a
Pokhara can
place.
be more for, people who are not too much into history and just want to, even the youth for that matter, want to spend a good lot of time. Pokhara
Yeah,
is
yeah,
some
correct.
place you can go to.
That's a
Stay back.
place. Yeah, it's a place to go chill, aram se. Then you can spend a couple of days there. I mean, we spend at least 5 to 6 days in Pokhara itself because there's so much to
Wow.
explore around. Just go around, meeting people. Again, you do a lot of fishing in those lakes, so you can ask people to do fishing, and they will help you. Like they will give you their fishing rods
Right.
and all. And just be careful. Sometimes you should not annoy people, but otherwise they are very chilled out people.
Okay.
Like in the sense they are fishing, you go and poke because it takes fishing is a patience. Requires a lot of patience.
Of course.
So one incident I saw where this guy was fishing for a long time and he was about to catch up with somebody went and was asking questions and disturbing him. So he got slightly annoyed.
He must have like turned the stick to like.
Yeah, true. So just be careful when you approach people while fishing. So that's about it. Otherwise, it's pretty nice.
Right.
And the food is pretty good there. Fish is the. From there, then I
Yeah,
think
how's the food in Nepal? Yeah, like it's on the blank ends, or the.
So food
How's the
is
food?
food is like so when I first went first morning when I ate it was like dal chawal, like Indian dal rice, and they were having it for breakfast.
Yeah.
They say this is staple diet and it's very good. So most of the food is influenced, like you won't find India and Nepal that different, but there are certain foods which are slightly different in Nepal. So they have momos which are interesting. Then they have something called a sel roti. Sel roti is like bagel. It's a mix of bagel kind of a thing. It's circular in nature and it comes. Then something else that I really found interesting was called as Nepali pizza. It is nothing like
Nepali
pizza.
pizza.
Yeah, they call it chatamari something. I found the name also very interesting. So it's like a circular thing. It's like we have a crepe. How we make appam here in South India. The similar kind of a thing made of rice, and then on that they have some toppings they put. So it's a very interesting thing to eat. They call it Nepali pizza, but it doesn't taste like pizza. That's what. There's no cheese and all in it. So, but otherwise it's tasty. But they just call it pizza. That's what throws you off. And then you eat it, and then it's something else. But it's a nice thing. A lot of people in Nepal eat that. So food is basic. Yeah. So there's nothing much. So a lot of food you get in India. Most of the places you get dal rice, which is also very cheap. Like when I was there, for 10 rupees you would get unlimited rice and dal, and plus you got bhajis.
10 rupees.
Yeah.
So how long this has been?
This was like 3 years back. So, but I still don't think much have changed. Like Indian rupees, 10 for them, it will be 16, 20 rupees must be there. Money.
Yeah, I mean, still it's cheap. Like
it is cheap, affordable. Like when you compare to the metros that we live in, Bombay and outside, when you go outside, food is actually quite cheap. I mean, you grow it there, the farms are there. You pick up the rice from there and dal from there and cook and give it to you. That's it. There's no transportation, though. Additional money is not required.
Yeah, there's a lot of and for us it's like पूरे महीने का खाना दे दो.
Correct. Yeah. So
lovely.
Quite cheap there. Yeah. I mean, economical. I would say food is good tasting, so it's economical food. Yeah.
So here we are at Pokhara. Yeah. From Pokhara, how do we?
I think you should head to Kathmandu. Now, Kathmandu, of course, is the capital of Nepal, and the best part about Kathmandu, a lot of culture, a lot of history there. So, of course, when you go there, you will get to know the Darbar Square, which is again one of the
Mm-hmm.
UNESCO site. Then there is this Kumari Chowk. Kumari Chowk is a
Okay.
place where there's a young girl who is supposed to be the human reincarnation of God Durga. So the young girl, they keep
Oh,
it.
okay.
So in Kumari Chowk, and you can go witness her. So in a certain time of the day, the window opens and you can see. So, but for
So
me, there are a lot
what,
of so a lot of tourists
I
go
mean,
there.
just
Yeah,
want to know a little more on the girl. So she's like, it's a place where she sits like a god, and or
yeah,
people can come and worship.
yeah. People do worship her as a goddess, literally. Like she stays there only. She
Wow.
stays. Yeah, so it is interesting to
That's
go and see. But yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Different realities, but yeah,
yeah.
that's quite
Uh,
interesting. Okay.
the other thing in Kathmandu again, there are a lot of rafting places. There are so many rivers
Okay.
around, so that you can go
Hmm.
for rafting, and they have very interesting flows. So, but there are for suppose you are just a newbie in rafting, or you also there is a flow.
Right.
Plus, there is if suppose you're a
Hmm.
professional and been rafting for that kind of person also there is a flow. And other
Wow.
interesting, you can take a flight, or there is a 50-minute flight that happens, which takes you close to
Hmm.
Mount Everest. Let me see if I have
Okay.
that picture.
That's really cool. Like,
Yeah. So this is the rafting I was talking about. You can do rafting there.
yes.
This I come to another place.
Wow.
So this is the bread I was talking about. Okay. This place is called Nagarkot. Okay, there's one place. This is a sunrise you've seen from there. If you can go and stay at
Wow.
this, you can go and stay at this place literally, and you see the sunrise. There's a small trek you can do and stay in this place.
That whole scenery is so beautiful.
Scenery is
Like,
stunning. Yeah, yeah. So most of the people go to this place, and I recommend that you should go and stay there and do a small trek, sunrise treks they have, to get the view of
hmm,
Mount Everest and how the sunrise comes, and that's what you see over there. So you should do that
right.
for sure. Then there are the other thing that I like most of the line like Gangas. There is a Pashupati Nath, which is there, which is the most popular thing for Nepalis. It is like the Ganga. You go there. Of course, it will be slightly crowded because a lot of people go there to pray, and it is general crowd is there. But the best part is
Hmm.
if you can go to the just slightly have the appetite for it, you can go you can walk through the banks and reach the cremation place. So there
Okay.
so it's an interesting thing to see cremation happening over there, broad daylight over there. So if you're in, and a lot of, it's like one of those places like Ganga in India is a similar over there.
Hmm,
Cremations
hmm,
happen.
hmm, hmm.
So if you're interested in watching those kind of things, you can go there. You can get a lot
Right.
of ghost stories in that area.
I see ghosts really like, you're pretty much interested because I think even one of two more
Yeah.
other sessions you
Uh,
did mention about ghost stories.
Ghost stories are plenty of them. Yeah. So all these places when
But
you go,
yeah,
sorry, you when you
mhm,
talk to these people and there are some ghost stories happening, and they will tell you those
right.
stories. There are some eerie incidences happen, especially these kind of places, Pashupatinath, where cremations happen. It's a crematory ground. So yeah, there are bound to happen.
Right. Also, when of course I've never been to Nepal yet, but I've heard that it's pretty a very religion based place in the sense people are too again, like, because you've been there. What does that mean? Very religion specific people.
So I
How is
think
that?
because of Buddhism there, so a lot of people are
Mhm.
spiritual in that part, like Lumbini side and all.
Right.
And people believe
Okay.
in God. So also there is a festival which they celebrate, which is equivalent to our Durga festival, I guess, that they worship Ma Durga there also. So a lot of influence from
Okay.
India as such. It's called I think
Dashin.
Dashain
Okay.
festival. It happens in September or October, same like ours, and it is a 10-day festival.
Right. Wow.
So it is a similar thing that happens there also. So more or less
Nice.
people, yeah. So spirituality is there and religion, yes, people do believe. There's another place called closer called Ilam. Now, Ilam has a
Ilam.
lot. Ilam. There's a lot of tea estates. So there are tea estate, and I had gone to that place along with a friend where you can do as a volunteer work. You can go and
Hmm.
do plucking of teas. They let you do this voluntary work. So if you're interested in doing some voluntary work over there, and you can go and teach kids also if you're interested, certain parts of Nepal,
Wow.
because they are looking for people who can teach English to the kids. So if you know a little bit of English, you can go stay there for 3 months and teach English. They don't pay you, but they will provide you with stay and food.
That's all you
Which is
need.
good enough, yeah. And that place is awesome. You stay there, chill. Then you come down to Kathmandu, or you want to go to other places and
Right.
explore and come back. So that you can do. It's a good
That's
month.
quite an
It's a
experience,
good
right?
experience. Yeah, I also recommend a lot of people when you're traveling, if you have time on
Hmm.
hand, 2 months, 3 months, just stay in one location and do some volunteer work. So it actually
Right.
exposes you to the culture of that place. You get to know people much better, and you become far better traveler that way. You know, because when
Yeah.
you're traveling for 1 week, 2 weeks, you're just touching the surface and looking at the good things and all, nice to do
True.
things. But when you're staying there, you actually get into deep cultural things and how things can change, how the character of people comes out, and you make some very interesting
Right.
friends for life. So I think that's the huge advantage I have had so far. So that's
Totally. Nice. And of course, I am sure there is no nightlife and all of that, of course, when it comes to Nepal.
no, you will be
Or
surprised. You'll be surprised. Actually, Nepal, Kathmandu especially has a very rocking nightlife. Pokhara has a
yeah,
nightlife. Yeah, so other places are quiet, but the capital has a very good nightlife. They have good pubs. There's a lot of foreigners come there. A
yeah.
lot of trekkers and all. They start from there. So they
Wow.
they chill there. So there is a good decent amount of nightlife. So that's what.
That was surprising.
Yeah. So that is.
Nice. So we've like done food, we've done few places out there. The nightlife is also sorted. So I think it's not just a few weeks. Now one can go and like completely explore all of Nepal and all
Yes.
sides of it rather. There
Correct.
is
Yeah.
adventure, there is scenery, whatever kind of a person you are, Nepal is, I think, a good place to go to, and also budgeted enough, right?
Yeah, true. But I suggest you should definitely try the bungee jumping there. It's a 3 hours
Okay.
drive from Kathmandu, 3 hours drive early morning. But you have to leave early morning, like 5 o'clock or something. The guys leave, so you go with them. It takes the entire day. You go there, and
Right.
then depending on the number of people and when your turn comes for jumping, so it might be around lunchtime or something. Then you jump and then have lunch later. I suggest don't have lunch before jumping. Most of the time, it
Obvious.
might just come out. So it's a beautiful jump
Lovely.
you do, and then yeah, spend the entire day. By the time you're back to Kathmandu, it is almost like 5:36 in the evening. It's a good thing.
Right. Lovely, lovely. So that was quite a good trip to Nepal, no, Vincy? Have we covered almost all of it? What about
Yeah,
another thing on the mountains? Like,
yeah.
that's a separate trek that people go to,
Separate
like
trek. Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah, that is not
So,
for anybody, and everybody can go. So if you're going to do base camp or Himalaya, there's a precautions that you have to take. You have to acclimatize yourself. So of course the experts over there will tell you, you just can't just get up and start going for a trek. So,
yeah,
those are very dangerous places for trekking. You need professional people with you
right.
while trekking. So ensure that you're going with professionals, because what happens is the climate can change anytime. Now Nepal, okay, the other very
Mhm.
important thing I want to tell about Nepal, I don't want to scare you guys, but when you go to Nepal, ensure that you take insurance with you. If possible, airlift
Okay,
insurance will be great, uh, because
okay.
Nepal has seen a lot of earthquakes happening. Recent time there was a big
Yes,
earthquake happened,
yes.
and it is a mountain terrain. So suppose you're doing trekking and all, something might happen. I'm not saying it happens,
Mhm.
but it's just that. So it's better to have insurance while going to certain places.
Right.
Especially international trips, I recommend everybody to have insurance, because you
Mhm.
won't be, and be careful what kind of insurance you cover. I normally, when I'm going to
Right.
really like places like not so very popular, let's say for example, I'd gone to
Mhm.
Cuba, I had taken an
Right.
airlift insurance. So if suppose something happens, you can just, so that saves a lot of money and headache for you.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
when you go to
No,
Nepal
makes
also,
sense.
yeah, do that. Yeah.
Right. Of course, totally. And yeah, I think sounds good. We've covered a lot of things. Very good itineraries also made. And of course, for more questions, and once we sit on the plan, you can forward them to Vincy or us and let us know. We can add to your, trip and details on how to take it forward. And more than that, Vincy, if you're going to soon sorry, and now start taking over projects where you're starting to travel from 2021, more than happy to go to him and make him the right guide, because he's clearly going to take you to places. Another thing, Vinci, thing I think I missed this. What about the house? Like, what about the stay? How do we?
So there are a lot of hostels there. There are
Okay,
homestays and there are lodges and places. So it's not that expensive to stay in Nepal. Uh,
okay.
and yeah, the hostels are the best to stay. People are used to it.
Hostels are the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
Right. So that's also budget, and at the
Yeah.
same time you're safe and you're like right there. I'm sure there are online bookings for that through
Everything is
many
online.
apps
Yeah,
and
yeah. Online booking is available.
perfect. Perfect. All right. Sounds great. We've also now
Uh,
toured to
yeah.
Nepal.
Yeah.
And let's soon meet again, and we will, let's see now from the north and the east, where else do we go to? And yeah,
It,
so
it,
see you all. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
So I'm
sorry,
saying
Vinci.
we can go to another beautiful place called Andamans. If people are interested, we can.
Why not?
Andaman
Totally.
is a very beautiful place that you can figure out. So we can do
Yes, I
that
think
next
also
week.
Andaman's, yes, is also Andaman is another, something like Nepal, which feels, of course, it's right there, but then reaching there and there is a whole lot of planning that needs to be done. That's been my perception. But of course, when Vinci is going to take us through all these things, we're going to have a better itinerary planned for us, right?
Actually, you'll be surprised. Andaman is the easiest one to reach. So we talk about
Yeah.
that, how to reach Andamans and
Absolutely,
what to do there.
absolutely.
Uh,
Very soon we'll talk about that. We'll also probably take you through a very, very different place, which we all feel it's right below our nose, sort of a place. But you'll be surprised because Vinci and I have already planned this, and you'll be surprised that how it's right under your nose, and yet it's so, so highly unexplored. So, keep wait for the next episode as well, and I'm sure you guys are going to be surprised. And yeah, till then, be here, keep stay updated with all the activities and all the shows that we are doing on Catapult, and see you all next weekend. Thank you, Vinci.
Thank you, Ria. Thanks a lot for having me. Thanks a lot. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye.